Hey guys, off of MudMowers today. I'm going to be showing you guys my $500 Suburban. Enjoy! So this is the Suburban I bought. It's a 1999. It's a GMC, but it's practically the same as a Chevy. K1500. It's a 4-wheel drive, quarter ton, I think. Kind of show you guys the inside here. Everything is super clean on it. I actually got it pretty clean. Like all of this stuff was dry clean. I don't know if the headliner was even clean, but it's super clean. There's that. And it had new carpet put in it. There's that. Goes all the way back. Goes all the way back, even back there. So that's why most of the stuff when I got it, like the back seat was taken out. These were here still, but some of the stuff was kind of loose. And even on the new, or when he took the seats out, he painted them up there. Just got new gray paint on them. It's an SLT, so it's like the top of the line for that year. It's got these little seats. It's even got heated seats, but those don't work. Not two-tone, just a little tears around here we usually get in. A couple of tears around there. He has seat covers, I'm not sure I'll actually use them. Has pretty new tiles on it. Practically brand new. You can still see some of the little things on there. Those rims should clean up okay. He drove it for about maybe 100 miles with these new tires on it. And that's when he noticed the engine problems. So this thing came with a 350, a 5.7 liter Chevy. And as you can see, it's taken out right now. But he said he was going up the Stevens Pass up here in Washington, and it'd run low on power, and he'd pull over and it'd run fine afterwards. But come to find out, about half the rod bearings spun, and it spun ruined a couple crank bearings too. So I got it running, and it didn't really need anything. It just needed he had the distributor out for some reason. It needed rotated 180 because it was way off timed. After that, it actually started right up, but had a pretty significant knock to it. So we tried pulling the oil pan out from just with the engine in there, and had to loosen up. There's the front diff. Goes over there. I can't even show you guys, but there's a little mount that's actually loose because we had to move the differential down to get and unbolt the two motor mounts, jack the engine up to get the oil pan out, and we saw that pretty much all the bearings were destroyed. But other than that, it's pretty clean in here. There's all the electrical. I'm noticing a good amount of amperage being drawn from this is the main for all of the electrical. This is actually for the starter. No, starter's just hanging down. But I'm noticing if I just leave that on all night, it will go dead. And if I open up this is the fuse panel. I'm noticing I'm getting all of my voltage drawn from the battery, and these are the two interior fuses. I'm not sure. These ones draw about 0.2 amps. This one's drawing at least an amp. Let's see, that's the battery one. That one right there is kind of hard to see. That's the fuel pump one. Just had it out so it's not cycling every time. But I'll figure out what's wrong with it sometime. Had a new windshield put on it. I think that's the original brand. I don't actually know if that's what GM used. But there's the new windshield. So might have been had a couple chips in it, but I took out this panel And I found a bunch of glass just laying up in there. $199, $122. I don't know why the shifter. I think the shifter light is just a little yellow beam. One of those grounds on up there, so it's not lighting up everything. Like I said, new carpet was done pretty well. There's the dash, radio, controls. It's got electronic 4-wheel drive. I'm having some problems with it though. You can see it doesn't really work, but they just use little motors on the diff and transfer case to do all of that, which they're not more than 50 bucks. That little motor right there, that's what actuates it, and there's pretty much the exact same motor on the transfer case, so I'll just probably buy those. I do know they have power going to it, because I could test for the power, but I can actually, when you push those buttons, I can hear the motors trying to move, but they're probably just all gummed up and rusted. That's what happens if you don't use your 4-wheel drive too often. Visors a little bit bent, so I'll just buy new ones. There's the console. Here it is down here too. Piece that goes in here is in the back. Come to the back. They said everything's pretty dang clean in here. Still got some stuff to actually vacuum up. There's all of that. Climate controls. Little pop down thingy. So there's some seat covers, a floor mat. I'm just gonna buy new floor mats because it's missing a couple of them. Tire jack is underneath that piece there. There's the back seat. This thing was so molded up because he had it folded down, which you can kind of see where the seat belts were sitting. And I opened it up, it just looked terrible, and it cleaned up so nice though. As you can see, it's super clean now. So seatbelt stuff goes on there. There's just some little like things that pop out on that. Pretty clean in here. There's also, well, there's 2 screw holes all up in there. And around here, there's just some big handles that go on, and you can grab onto those. See, there's the spare tire. It's actually a full size, so that's always nice to have. Probably never been used idle. Here's the back. It's just got the bone nose. That. That's where the tire goes. So it looks like the headliner is still really clean. There's actually some speakers up in those too. There's the independent front suspension. And there's the differential. That's so good. I'll probably get this thing up on a lift and just check out all the steering and everything. But if I show you guys underneath, it's pretty clean actually. You know, there's some very little surface rust on it. Like all of this stuff. You're just doing nothing on there, no home. But there's the transfer case up in there. And there's the transmission. It's a 4L60E. Got the radiator sitting up here. It's pretty big, but most of the like K1500s and 2500s use the same dimensions, except the width of the actual tubing can be different. This one's kind of small, and there's even really small ones, and some of them will be as wide as the whole thing actually. But it's got the oil cooler lines in here. You can actually see, you might be able to see some shavings down in there. That's because, like I said, the engine destroyed a couple bearings. And then down on this side, that's actually the hot side, so the oil gets kind of cooled. But this is where the hot water goes in, flows down, and this is where the cold one comes out. So they have the transmission one down on the colder side. But that's in pretty good shape. I'm just gonna flush it out, make sure it's not leaking anywhere, and it's probably not. So I'll use it again. We got some struts, skid plate, alternator. It's a replacement. It's a Bosch. There's that. It's not, maybe a little bit loud. Not bad. Air box, fan shrouds, distributor, water pump was replaced. It's actually not worn out too bad, but I can't really show you guys where it's sitting. Oil pan, it's gonna need cleaned. These are the oil cooler lines. These go to the top power step on that radiator. And these go back to the oil pump or the oil filter adapter down here. These 350s actually have on the block, you can fit a little pipe in, you can put the oil filter on, or you can put this adapter on that screws on and tilts the oil filter out to the side a little bit more. But that also allows for the coolers to go, the cooling lines to go on there. And these things like to leak because it's all metal until this big bend is all rubber hose, and get some of those, not too expensive. AC pump down there, so that's pretty much all of that. There's a 20-cent filter on it. So I even see the flywheel down there too. So we got some stuff spinning around in here. Timing cover and engine mounts. And then over here, we got valve covers and pulleys and flywheels. And over here, we got the crankshaft, EGR tube. There's the block. It's gonna get dropped off and gonna bolt out. If you look in here, you can probably see those cross hatches and those cylinders still. That's pretty good for a 200,000 mile engine. Probably can't see them in there, but there's a lot of cross hatching actually left in these cylinders. Got all of the mains bolted back up, all of the freeze plugs out. I'm gonna put new cam bearings in it too. That's a little bit more, have to have a different tool to do that. Exhaust manifolds, which I'm gonna be buying probably some shorties or something like that, just steel tubes, not cast iron ones that will flow a lot better. And there's the coil for it. So hope you guys did enjoy this video of MudMowers. This thing should be fun to walk on over the summer now, and hopefully I won't get too tied up in this. I've still got to work on that 4x4, get that engine rebuilt in there, put it back in, maybe a lift kit if I have the time. But other than that, this thing isn't going to see too much. Definitely over the winter I'll probably repaint it. I'm not sure if I'm going to just kind of wet sand it and put a new clear coat on it, or if I should just paint it all red again, get some new red on there, because there's actually a good amount of scratches on it. You can't really see them on this camera, but paint's not too bad, but it'd look a lot better with new paint. But until next time, stay tuned for more.